Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in this short video, I'm going to show you some different types of motorcycle air pumps so you're not left flat out on the trail. So there's nothing worse than when you're out on the trail, you're having a great time, and then something unexpected happens like getting a flat. I say unexpected, but it seems like nearly every time that we go out, somebody in our group has a flat. You never really know what kind of object you're going to pick up in a tire. It could literally be anything. I've picked up nails, screws, hitch pins, and as you saw in the Wyoming BDR video, Dan even picked up a razor blade. Being prepared for situations like that can either make or break your day. I have tube tires on my bike, so I carry a tube, I carry patches, but I also carry plugs because not only am I trying to make sure that my bike is good to go, but if my buddy has tubeless tires and he either forgot his plugs or we've used so many and we still can't get the hole fixed, I have extras just in case. I'm not going to leave my buddy out there, and when we're out there riding together, his ride is also my ride, so I try to cover as many bases as possible. When it comes to air pumps, there's definitely several different kinds. You have your manual style, just the old trusty hand pump. These are not very efficient, but they will definitely get you out of a pinch. Another option is the CO2 cartridges. You have your little head that you screw onto your valve stem, and then screw this in, puncture the CO2 cartridge, and it inflates your tire. These aren't very reliable. A lot of times we have trouble with these making a seal, and you lose half of your CO2 before you even get it screwed all the way in. So we definitely like to carry several backups for these. Another option is a 12-volt electric pump, and I have two types here because I'm going to be doing a comparison on these today. This is just a Walmart special. It's hyper tough. It's basically the Walmart brand. I think I paid like $15 for this, and I've had it for several years. I have noticed lately that it's taking a lot longer for this to actually pump up tires when we need to. A new pump that I recently picked up is the Motopump's AirShot 2.0. It comes in this awesome carrying case, and it's a little bit heavier than, say, this Walmart pump that I have here, but I'm hoping that's because it's got a better pump inside of it. I know it's a lot, based off some of the reviews I've seen, I know it's a lot faster pump, so I really am excited about taking these two kind of in a head-to-head to see what they do. Real quick, let's go to the Workbench back behind me, and we'll take a closer look at these air pumps. Hey guys, real quick, I have no affiliation really with any of these brands, so whether you purchase any of these products or not, I get no kickback on that. So this video is being made just for you guys. But if you would like to support the channel, definitely check out the website down below. It's backcountryadvmoto.com. There you can click the shopping tab, maybe pick up a sweatshirt or a hat or any of the other products that are on the website. And everything purchased on that website goes directly back into this channel to help make more videos like this. If you wanted to pick up some merch to help support the channel, it's greatly appreciated. If not, no problem at all. But let's get back into the video. Okay, so here on the Workbench, we have our three different style of pumps. We have our standard air, like bicycle style air pump. This one is nice and collapsible, very thin, has a clamping head on it, and it's great for a backup because say one of these two fail, this is always going to work. Let's throw this on the scale just to see what this weighs. It's actually so light that it's not even registered on this big scale. Let me head back over here to the other one to see what it looks like. Okay, my other scale says 3.4 ounces, so very, very light. Another lightweight compact option, your CO2 cartridges. This is a 16 gram. They make different sizes, but 16 grams is kind of your standard mountain bike or ATV tire CO2 cartridge kit. Again, you're gonna wanna bring more than one of these. I think I usually bring 3, but these are really handy too. So let's go over and see what these weigh. This one weighs exactly 3 ounces. So these are definitely your lighter choices if you are looking to really save weight. Now this one is the Walmart version that we talked about. It's the Hyper Tough, and it's very simple, has an on-off switch, and has a built-in gauge. Another thing about it is it has a very short hose. The benefit of that is that if your tire is turned to the right direction, it'll hang, and you won't actually have the air pump suck up dust or dirt, because that's really what ruins these pretty fast, is getting some dust and debris inside the compressor on the inside. But let's see what this one weighs. This one reads out at 11 ounces or 0.30 kilograms. Okay, now this final one here is by motopumps.com. Just a disclaimer, they did send this one to me for free, but I don't have any affiliate links, and I'm not getting paid to include this in this video at all. They basically just sent it to me and said, hey, try it out and tell us what you think. So this is what we're doing here. Again, comes in this awesome padded case and really everything that you need to connect this to your motorcycle. This Walmart version only comes with a cigarette lighter, so if you don't have a cigarette lighter on your bike, then you'll have to splice this and figure out another way to connect it. The moto pumps, just starting off, comes with a lead, a fused lead that you can connect to your bike. It comes with some SAE to alligator clip connections, so you can hook it up to your battery if you needed to. And it also comes with the cigarette lighter plug. On the one end of the power cord here, it has an SAE plug, so you have the ability, if you already have a battery tender or something like that hooked up to your motorcycle for charging the battery when you're not riding, you have the ability to plug this directly in and you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about any other connections. If you don't have a battery tender, again, they send you this connection lead with that's fused already, so you can connect it directly to your battery or to a power hub, and you're ready to rock and roll. The cord on this is fairly long. It's roughly 6 feet. And the air hose is 24 inches with a 90-degree clamp style chuck on it. So that makes it a lot easier to hook on and to ensure that it's not going to come off while you're pumping. Another neat feature about this is that it comes with a string that you can hang on to a foot peg, either the passenger peg or the rider peg. And that again keeps this out of the dirt and keeps it from sucking any dust or dirt inside the motor. It's a very simple design, simple on-off switch. There is not a gauge on this, and my first thought on that is those things are never accurate anyway, so you don't need to put one on there. But time will tell. I do like having the gauge on this one, just simply because you know you're getting close. But we're going to give all of these a try and see how long it takes to pump up a rear tire on an adventure bike. Okay, so we're going to take all 4 of these pumps outside and we're going to see how they perform when airing up a tire on an adventure bike. The bike tire that we're going to be using is a 150/70/18, which is kind of your standard adventure motorcycle tire. And I'm just going to test them out for 5 minutes. I'll let each one of them run, each of the 2 electric pumps run for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to pump by hand for 5 minutes and see what the PSI is after 5 minutes on all 3 of those. For the air cartridge style, I'm going to put in a couple of air cartridges just to see where that gets us PSI wise. And this is nothing super scientific, but it's just a way to see kind of a real world test on where they're at after 5 minutes of pumping. I'm also going to test how loud they are, the decibels from each pump, and see how loud they are. Obviously the hand pump and the CO2 pump are going to be fairly quiet because there's no real motor or anything like that to make them loud. But the 2 others, we'll test those out as well and see what the decibels are and how loud they are. So let's take these outside and let's see how this goes. All right, guys, so we're outside and we're here with the T7. The back tire on this is about to get all the air deflated out of it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it outside is because you're going to be outside in the elements when you're repairing your flat tires. So I just wanted to add that to it. It is very cold out here. It's about 15 degrees. Luckily nice and sunny, but I didn't want to do it in the garage for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, you're going to be outside doing these repairs, and then 2, I just don't have room in my garage right now to do to film this. So the first test we're going to do is the hand pump test. Again, I'm going to time it for 5 minutes and see how much PSI I can get in there in that 5 minute by hand pump. Then we'll go to the CO2 cartridges, and then we'll try out the other 2 pumps. So let's take the air out of this back tire and let's get started. Okay guys, so I've got my timer set up here for 5 minutes. I've got my trusty hand pump. We're gonna do this. So we'll take it. It's at 0 PSI right now. And let's hit start and let's get pumping. I can actually start to feel some resistance, so that's a good thing. Time. All right, so I've got my digital pressure gauge here. Let's see if we made any progress. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, probably not. It's pretty dim and it's very bright out here, but 18.3 PSI, which I'm actually really surprised after 5 minutes of pumping. That would get you enough pressure if you were, on the dirt to be able to get out of there after only 5 minutes. So that's really not bad at all. Let's go ahead and let the air all the way out again, and we'll do the CO2 cartridges and see where we're at. Okay guys, generally if I'm out and about, I'll carry 3 of the CO2 cartridges. These are always a little finicky because sometimes you don't get a good seal when you screw them in to puncture the top of the CO2 cartridge. So it's better to have more than what you need. Now the way these work, again, screw it onto your valve stem, and then you're gonna take your CO2 cartridge and you're just gonna screw it right into there. You wanna go and screw it in until just about to where it touches, and you wanna give it a quick turn. I'm not gonna time this because obviously I could put all 3 of these in under 5 minutes, but let's screw it in and let's test the PSI for each one. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's going in there right now. They get very cold. It's already cold out here as it is, and they get very cold when they let all that air out of there. All right, so that sounds like that one's good. Let's unscrew it. So after 1 CO2 cartridge, let's take our gauge. That gave us about 5 pounds, not very much. Let's do it again. Go with the second one here. You can probably hear it going in. All right, that one's all good. It is literally so cold that it burns my hand. That one put us up to 16 pounds, a little bit inconsistent. Let's get the last one on here now and see where we're at. Alrighty, we'll check it now. And that puts us at 22 pounds. So again, not bad. Almost gets us up to highway pressure. So it would get us out of the jam if need be. Now let's switch over to the 12 volt pumps. Okay, so I have the Walmart brand, the Hyper Tough 12 volt pump attached here. I have it hooked up over to my Jackery. That way there's no voltage drop while I'm doing these tests. I have the Jackery plugged into the wall power, so we should be good to go there. I'm gonna start the timer and we'll do 5 minutes and see where the PSI is afterwards. And I'll also test the noise level with this with the decibel meter that I have on my phone. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. We'll do the 5 minutes. We'll hit start and go from there. As far as decibels go, I'm not sure you can see this on there, but it's reading right about 77 decibels. Okay, so after 5 minutes, I'm reading exactly 20 PSI on here. Let's take the hose off and we'll check it with the other tire gauge and see where we're at. Well, I guess I'll eat my words on the accuracy of that because this is actually reading 20 PSI as well. So in 5 minutes, we got 20 PSI. So now I'm gonna take all the air out again for a final time and we'll test out the AirShot 2.0. Okay, so I have the AirShot 2.0. It does have this convenient little hanger here to hang it onto the passenger foot peg. We're going to attach it. It's a lot easier to attach than what the Walmart version is with the screw-on style, and you also get this longer hose, so it makes it a little bit more convenient. We'll set our timer to 5 minutes. The AirShot 2.0 does not have an air gauge on it, so I don't really know where we're gonna be at until we reach that 5 minute mark. It has the switch right here on the bottom. We'll get started here in 3, 2, 1. I can already tell you it's quite a bit quieter than what the other one is. Let's test and see. Right about 76 decibels. It's actually only 1 decibel different, but the tone is a lot lower, so maybe because of the lower tone, it doesn't seem like it's as loud as what the Walmart version is. All right, so we're at the end of our 5 minute testing. Let's see where we are PSI wise. So I don't think you'll be able to see that on here, but we're at 44.2 PSI. So in 5 minutes, we more than doubled what the Walmart version was. That's really not bad, and that's actually exceeds the pressure limit on this tire. So at 5 minutes, we've pumped up this tire more than what the sidewall says that we should pump it up to. So not too bad. So let's pick all this stuff up, head back into the garage, and we'll talk about our final conclusions. Okay guys, so we're back inside after doing our testing, and man, I'm glad to be back in here. It was so cold out there and I was losing feeling in my fingertips, so definitely glad to be back inside where it's a little bit warmer. So of those 4 pumps that we tested, which one were you most surprised about? Leave a comment down below and let me know. I, for one, was really shocked about the hand pump. To pump this for 5 minutes, not super fast, just consistent, to get up to 18.3 psi by this bicycle pump, I was blown away. I was honestly expecting it to be somewhere around the 6 to 10 mark, so I will definitely start packing this with me as a backup just in case. As far as the CO2 cartridges go, that was probably the one that I was the most disappointed with, because those 16-gram cartridges, I would assume were going to get us up, with all 3 of them, would have got us up somewhere around the 30 psi mark, no problem, and we barely got to 26 psi. And I was also a little bit surprised about the consistency of them, because the first one got us up to like 6 psi, and then the second one got us up quite a bit more to like 16 psi, or I can't remember what it was, actually a little bit further than that. But then the third one was even less. Also, one little thing that I noticed with the CO2 cartridges is the third cartridge that I used, the threads were actually dinged up on it and it wouldn't thread in very easily. So, and maybe that's from bouncing around inside the bag. So if you weren't able to thread that onto the valve stem to release that pressure, you'd be kind of screwed. Now, when it comes to the 12-bolt pumps, I was actually a little bit surprised there as well. I've carried this one with me for a couple of years now. It's got, some rattles and some shakes. There's definitely some things going on with it. It gets really hot, I've noticed. But I was actually kind of surprised that the gauge on here was as accurate as it was, because in the past, it seems like it's never accurate. But for 5 minutes, getting 20 psi, it's totally doable. It's something that I'm not going to be upset about by any means, because what else you got to do whenever you're waiting to pump up a tire? At least you're having an option like this instead of having to do it by hand. My main concern with this cheaper Walmart brand pump is that the reliability. And since it is kind of lightweight and cheaply made, I would be worried that it wouldn't last long, or it would fail on me when I need it the most. So finally, the AirShot 2.0, I was actually really impressed with this. One, I'm glad that it comes in a little carry bag for all the things that it comes with all the connections. It also helps protect it when it's bouncing around inside your panniers. The build quality is really nice. The plastic on here is a lot heavier duty. All the connections are a lot nicer than what the cheap Chinese Walmart brand is. And one thing I did not mention is that this is actually made in the USA. So why not support that, right? I do like that it has a longer hose on it. I do like that it has the loop on it, even though it's very simple, to be able to hang it so it doesn't get dirt or dust inside of the air pump itself. And I do like that it has an SAE connection on here, because most of us have that already on our bike anyway for hooking up battery tenders and whatnot. And I like the fact that it has the option to use either the cigarette lighter, the alligator clamps, or the other options that are available. So really nice feature with that as well. Now, if I was going to nitpick this air pump, the one thing that I would add to it would be a air pressure gauge on it. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes those aren't very accurate, but if the cheap Chinese Walmart one can be as accurate as it is, surely we could find a way to put one on here as well. I get it. It's trying to be as simple as possible. I do like the pistol grip style air pump that it is, but somewhere in here, surely we could find a way to put either an analog gauge or a digital gauge, so that you at least know when you're in the ballpark and getting close. Because after 5 minutes, like I mentioned during the testing, we were actually like 10 psi higher than what that tire called for to begin with. So then you have to go and you have to let your air down just to be able to get to the right spec. So adding a gauge to this, if at all possible, would be really nice. And last but not least, this actually does have a 5-year warranty on it. So if you had any problems with it, you could always send it back to the manufacturer or contact them, and I'm sure they would take care of you, no questions asked. So here moving forward, I will start carrying this AirShot 2.0 as my main air pump, but I will carry this hand pump as a backup, because you just never know if you're going to pop a fuse on your bike, or you have some kind of issue with the electronics in here, the motor goes bad or whatever. Like I said, even though it is really well built and it does have a warranty, you don't want to be left stranded if you are out in the wilderness and you need to get home. So this will be my number one, and I'll carry this as a backup, because in my opinion, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. All right, guys, I hope this video helped you out. It wasn't really a scientific test by any means. Hopefully it was more entertaining than anything, but hopefully it also gives you an idea of what kind of air pump you might want to carry, whether it be the hand pump, the CO2, or the electronic 12-volt pump. All have their place for sure. And again, why not carry two if you have the space? So guys, if you have any questions or any opinions about this, definitely leave it in the comments down below. And if you're looking for more gear videos, check out this one right here, or maybe even this one right here. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.